Getting good at drawing characters is hard. What do you focus on first? And then what after that? How do you make progress as fast as possible? I got you. I'm Mark. I've been a professional artist for well over a week, and I teach art for a living. In this week's episode of YouTube Art School, I'll introduce an epic 30-day plan that I've carefully crafted for you, my dear subscribers, to follow and learn how to draw characters in 30 days. Wow, is this real life? Oh, yikes. Quick, class is starting. Let's get to it. All right, class is in session. Pay attention and pay the class fee of either 1 like or 1 sub, or else today I'll be going over the 30-day schedule that I've professionally crafted to take you from stickman skill level to damn bro, or just basically to level you up a bunch of levels if you already have some experience. These exercises will train you over the next 30 days to approach drawing characters with an emphasis on getting better faster. We'll actually cut a lot of corners to make this happen, take a lot of shortcuts, but if drawing stylized characters is what you're interested in, this should help you seriously level up your game in very little time. So for the first couple of exercises, we'll be focusing on, pretty basic stuff, pretty simple stuff, but of course we'll increase difficulty as we make our way through the 30 days. It should only take you under an hour each day at most. You'll see, you'll be very surprised with the results if you put in some effort and stick to it. All right, let's get right into it. So we'll go at this week by week, and each week will have kind of a slightly different focus. Week 1 is all about copying. What? For day 1, you'll start by testing yourself. Find the image of a character that you really like, either done by an individual artist or like from a series that you like. Just make sure it's a character in a somewhat neutral pose that isn't like too detailed. And well, copy it as best as you can. Don't trace it, just place it next to your canvas and try your best to represent it as closely as you can. And you'll want to find a reference that represents kind of the target that you want, like your goal art-wise, what you aspire to be able to do. Now, don't expect this to turn out great. It's the first day and it's basically just a test. On day 2, the task will be to copy your favorite character's face from 2 or 3 different angles. Again, find references and copy them as best as you can. For day 3, you'll want to find a partially clothed reference of a favorite character in a neutral pose. And well, this time the exercise will be to draw over it, tracing the exposed, parts of the body that you can actually see, but trying to imagine what the rest of the body under the clothes might look like. If you're able to do this quickly, do a few of them. On day 4, a little bit of tracing involved here again. You'll want to trace the outline of the head of a favorite character once again, tracing it so you don't have to worry about it, but then practice drawing the face itself from reference, not tracing that part. But that's not all though. Once you've drawn the face from reference, erase it and draw it again, but this time from memory as best as you can. And do this again from memory, from reference, from memory, from reference, maybe a few times. Day 5, this time you'll practice drawing the head of your reference character again, but the head alone, no face. For the face, you can just draw like hints of where the eyes, the nose, and the mouth will be, which is like a line or something. And draw a few common angles, so like a side profile, a front headshot, and maybe like a 3/4 view, just to practice drawing the head shape alone. For day 6, again, using a reference to copy from, draw the character naked in a neutral standing pose, making sure the body proportions are good, and draw the face too, just no hair. It's always better. Now, day 7 and the last day of the first week, you'll repeat what you did on day 6, but from memory this time. That's likely going to be pretty hard. So whenever you're not sure, whenever you hesitate, just bring back your reference to kind of refresh your memory and help guide your drawing. It's okay if you have to use the reference for most of it, but try to do it from memory as much as you can. And well, that's it for week 1. Good job, you did it. Week 2 now is upon us, and on day 8, the exercise will be to erase half the face of some of your favorite characters in a neutral pose, facing the camera, and draw the erased part yourself using the rest as reference. Now, on day 9, find 2 reference images from 2 characters that you like in the same pose and face swap them. No tracing, of course, just draw them shoulders up with their new face, no clothes, no hair. Now for day 10, we're still focused on the faces. It's still going to be a similar exercise where we'll take 2 different characters and create a single one by combining and choosing different facial elements from each. Not like a face swap this time, more like a face merge. For day 11, still using references, copy the body of a character that you like in a neutral pose without worrying about the face, the clothes, or the hair, and make a minor edit to the pose itself, like changing the position of one arm maybe. For day 12, we'll switch it up a bit this time and use real life references. So taking only 2 to 3 minutes per pose, draw like 10 to 15 different models in neutral poses. It's gesture drawing time. So with the little amount of time that you have to draw each pose, more like sketch each pose, just focus on the silhouette and make sure that the proportions are somewhat human-like. On day 13, choose a pose that you liked from the previous day when you did gesture drawing, and this time spend like 10 to 20 minutes redrawing it using the same reference as best as you can. The focus should be on proportions, and you can always double check how close you are simply by overlapping your drawing and the reference, you know, when you think you're done, and from there just make the necessary adjustments. And then for the last day of week 2, we're bringing back the exercise from day 1 using the exact same reference that you used then, the same character. Try copying it again as best as you can. And well, we're already halfway through the challenge. A couple of things should have started to click by now if you've been at it for the last 2 weeks, but you're still just halfway. So if you saw some improvement between the first day and the 14th day, wait until you complete the next 2 weeks. The progression and the structure of the exercises here is what makes all the difference. None of it is random. And if you're one of the 19,000 students part of my art school program, I'm sure this feels pretty familiar since this is roughly inspired by the structure at the beginning of the program. I'm just skipping through a lot of important stuff like anatomy. So if you're not a student yet and you like to learn in great depth all the skills that you would need to draw and paint literally anything your mind can imagine, check the link down in the video description for a huge discount on my art school program, valid for a couple more days. Existing students always get free updates and additions, and I actually have a new class that I'll be adding to the program soon. Link down below, don't miss out. Now let's begin the 3rd week of the challenge. Let's go. You'll start off week 3 with another session of gesture drawing. Don't you worry, there aren't that many more. So using photo of models in standing idle poses, draw 10 to 15 poses and set a timer for about 2 to 3 minutes per pose max. For day 16, copy a naked, hairless, and faceless version of your favorite character. Of course, using a reference image for the proportions, but pose the character using one of the gestures from the previous day, from day 15. On day 17, then, still using references, you'll copy a portrait or many, you know, if you're up for it, of your favorite character, but give him or her the haircut of a different character. So a hair swap, I guess. Day 18 is a gender swap day. Using references as always, invert the gender of a favorite character of yours, but focus on the portrait only for this particular exercise, shoulders and up. For day 19, you'll Frankenstein 2 different characters, taking the upper body of one and slapping it onto the lower body of another character. And of course, try to find characters that are both in a similar pose. That makes it easier. And of course, use references, but focus on the body only, no clothes. Moving on to day 20. This time, the exercise will be to start with 2 5-minute gesture drawing sessions from reference in an idle pose. And then you'll just want to clean up your favorite one out of the 2 because you'll be reusing that for the following day's exercise. Which brings us to day 21. Starting off from that cleaned up gesture drawings you did the previous day. Using references again. You'll need to dress it up using also the face and the haircut from your favorite character, the one you've been using as reference this entire time. So you should basically end up with a slightly more realistic version of, you know, the character since it's based on real proportions. And oh boy, here we are. The home stretch. For day 22, the challenge will be to copy the naked body of a character that you like, or alternatively, just a photo reference, and then dress up your character using 1 to 2 design elements from 3 other character references. Essentially, creating a design mashup of a bunch of different sources. Now, day 23's exercise will be to draw your favorite character again from reference, but give it a different pose taken from a different reference. Nothing too dynamic though, unless you're up for it. And well, at this point in the challenge, you should be getting a lot more confident drawing bodies using reference. So the challenge for day 24 will be to draw a naked character, preferably the same character you've been drawing this whole time, since it should be pretty fresh in your memory. And well, you'll want to draw it in a simple pose without using a reference this time. Now, day 25 will be the final day of gesture drawing, I promise. So you'll be drawing 15 relaxed standing poses from photo reference, 2 to 3 minutes per pose. Moving on to day 26, it's almost the end. This time, you'll be drawing the same character head in 5 slightly different angles. Nothing too extreme like this, just like a front shot, a profile shot, maybe like a 3/4 view, and then one maybe slightly looking down and then one looking up. Use either an original character of yours, if you have any, or a reference once again. Maybe from a manga you like, from some anime, some animated feature film, whatever. For day 27, create a new character head built out of 5 different references and then take features from each of them to create one new head. Day 28, this time you'll be drawing your favorite character's body in a standing idle pose from imagination if you can, or use reference if needed, and then you'll merge that body with the new head that you created the previous day. And then finally, for day 29 and 30, we'll pick it up from day 28, and you'll be dressing up your naked character using design elements from 5 different character references, trying to take an equal amount of inspiration from each. And just like that, granted, after a lot of work, you'll have a new OC. And also, you should be a heck of a lot better at drawing character. And while with that, the Learn to Draw Characters in 30 Days challenge is complete. Now it's your turn to actually do it. And if you stick to this schedule, you should see some pretty mind-blowing results. And of course, I'd love to see your progress if you do give this a go. So make sure to use the hashtag Learn to Draw in 30 days if you post your daily progress on social media. And of course, you can search for the same hashtag to see how others are doing. Get a little sense of community, you know, much more fun. Also, there's always a bunch of people that ask, but you can totally do this either digitally or traditionally. It's just drawing. But if you do them digitally though, and you'd like to use a fantastic pencil brush, well, you can grab mine as part of my free brush set with the link in the video description. I use it all the time and it's free. I also happen to have a Clip Studio Paint version of it. Works identical as it does in Photoshop. Link also in the description. Anyways, I hope that helps. No, I know it will. And I can't wait to see how well you do. So make sure you have the bell turned on to be on time for next week's class. And meanwhile, check out these other classes that I know you'll like.